Hello, viewers. You're welcome to another amazing, scintillating Season 2 episode. Sex is a gift given to us by God. It's given for pleasure. It's given for procreation. It's given for selflessness and also to engage our reward pathways. One might ask the question, with all of these blessings, why will a couple be in a relationship, married, and don't have sex? So that's what we're going to talk about today, sexless marriage. With me here today, I have Dr. Prince Daite, who has been with us on Planned Sex. When the episode comes out, you will understand why he's here again today. Dr. Daite, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And then we have Pastor Daniel. You know him already on Genesis of Sex and My Body, God's Temple. He's here with me again today to discuss this all-important topic. I want to say thank you to our viewers for taking your time to view. Keep subscribing. And to all our sponsors, we say thank you. Abigail's Fashion, keep doing your thing. Omron Production, we want to say thank you. We'll go straight to today's discussion. Dr. Daite, can you help us with the definition? What is sexless marriage?
Thank you so much. When you want to talk about sexless marriage, typically you'll be expecting things like frequency, you'll be considering regularity of physical intimacy. But for sexless marriage, generally you would say that this is a marriage where you have any of the partners feeling less fulfilled sexually and ready to talk about it. So it is about the two people in the marriage and then the variation or the difference in their sexual appetite, if you like.
Okay.
And so for anything to be considered sexless, it should have this variation.
Okay.
But generally speaking, we say that in a marriage, you expect that at least there should be sex once, where it is not possible, once in a month. When that is not possible, you say that marriage is sexless. Or you can say that if there's a marriage where within a full year they were not able to have physical intimacy more than 10 times within the full calendar year, that marriage is considered to be sexless. But this is considered in times when all things are normal. In an ideal situation.
Okay.
So you can't say that somebody who is traveling up and down and not able to have sex with a partner in a year's period would then say that person's marriage is sexless. Then you would also have to understand that because we vary in our need for sex, so a male and female in a marriage setting may be such that maybe the male's sexual appetite is a bit higher than the female's. In that case, you cannot say the marriage is sexless if within a month they can still have sex at least once. And both of them are not complaining. But if they can have sex once and yet one of them or both of them are complaining that this marriage is not giving me my fulfillment in my sexual demand, then it is a sexless marriage. I think it is that way. So always it is about the regularity and then the two people involved in the marriage. That is how the definition is.
All right, that's good. Thank you very much. Pastor, I see you smiling. Just throw in your bit in there. Let's see how it goes.
So you see, what doctor said, this is the medical side, and it's true.
Yes.
Somebody may still be under marriage and would have sex without any intimacy. We'll just be there.
Help us with that.
So it's sex. It's a union. It's between the husband and wife.
Okay.
We talk about sex. I'm sure when we delve into the cause and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So sex is not just like today I want to have sex, so let's have sex. A lot of things get together before you hit it.
Okay.
So if a wife is there and the husband come just to be with him and have an affair, and the wife didn't feel anything, it's just like a log. To them, to women, sex had never gone on, though they're having penetration. But the ideal, the mindset behind, the truth behind sex wasn't fulfilled. When doctor was saying, he was talking about fulfillment.
Yeah.
There should be that sort of fulfillment after sex. The husband and the wife should be fulfilled because it is part of marriage. So if I didn't get it, or if the wife didn't get it, or husband didn't get it, then because it's like a responsibility. So today we need to have it, and we just bump into it to have it without any fulfillment. There's nothing. It's like you have eaten and you are not satisfied. Somebody asks you if you have food, you eat again because the food didn't get to the level or the appetite. You didn't get the appetite for the food. The fact that you were hungry doesn't mean anything else you can eat. But sometimes your appetite calls for a particular food you want to eat. If you don't get a food and you get any other food, you eat it all right. But still, you would never be fulfilled as the real food that you want to eat. So sexless marriage, as doctor said, goes beyond what we may think. But somebody will be having an affair every blessed day in a week. But it will be sexless because there's no fulfillment in the sex.
All right. So Doc, whilst you were saying, I got something. You said, if one person is not complaining.
Let me get it right.
Yeah.
If one or both
are okay, they have to be okay with it.
You see, because marriage is a union of two people, if any one of them is complaining,
There's a problem.
then there's a problem. If both are complaining, there's a problem. If none of them are complaining, then there's no problem.
Good to go.
They can manage once a month.
And they are comfortable with it. That is, you cannot say it is a sexless marriage. Because both of them have an understanding and it's comfortable for them.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. So they have to be okay with it or not be okay before we can define it then. Because some people, as I was preparing for this, I was reading, it's like some people, their libido is so low, they are okay with even once every 2 months and they are satisfied with that. We did a previous episode on asexuality, and it's amazing when you look at this couple, bringing them together. So if they're okay with that, okay. Are there benefits when people have sex? What are the benefits? Like, Pastor, I love the smile. What are the benefits when people have sex? What happened to them?
You see, why would Paul tell the Corinthians that they shouldn't deprive one another except consent? Why shouldn't we deprive one another? Doc probably may add more when it comes to that, but you see, the dopamine and stuff that releases when a husband meets the wife can't be compared to anything done in the laboratory. You see, Genesis, for the other, I said it, and Adam knew Eve. That word knew goes beyond K-N-E-W. Sex is so beautiful to the extent that it causes one not to age, as in aging, and the person will be very weak. Sex. Correct, good one. Not sexless in what we are talking about. Real sex, like sex that God had ordained. When husband and wife had it together, it allowed them to look alike. They think alike because they are connected. The other day I told you, if we cover someone's half up from the waist to the top, the husband or the wife should be able to know that this is my wife, this is my husband. Though the person have been covered halfway. Why? There's a connection. There's a strength that attract the two of you when it's done well. That's why in my earlier submission I said that it can be sexless, though they will have an affair. One is complaining. There's no sex. But when we do it in the way God has ordained it, Monique, I'm telling you, every blessed day, if one is not there, the other person can't leave.
So there's this glow. The way you're
I'm telling you.
I'm thinking about there's a special glow.
Why is it that, Monique, why is it that when they get married and the ladies start living well, they say, hey, your husband is doing the thing. Why? Because of the release. Certain things comes and makes you upright. Why is it that a woman will wake up early in the morning and her demeanor will let the neighbors know that today things didn't go well, today things went well? It's because of what really happened in their chambers. Sex, correct sex. It's only good sex that will cause the woman to ask the husband, what are you eating this morning? Yes. Without, even if there's no money, the woman will provide, because what she received can never be compared to money.
Engage the pleasure pathways, the special glow.
I'm telling you, man.
I think we need to check some of these our married couple who come to church and they're grumpy and they're always taking. I think we need to look at them.
Thank you.
Pastor, what do you think?
It's true.
It's true, right? They are disturbing us. They are not giving us peace.
And you see, we deal with people like that. So they will come and you ask them, when was the last time you had a fulfilled sex? And they'll be looking at each other.
Oh, okay. They are brothers and sisters.
They are brothers and sisters in Christ.
And now they are giving us headache in church.
And sometimes when I'm not saying this thing it should, please, I'm not saying this thing should go. But sometimes when the men come to church and it's the women, if the husbands that their wives are depriving them, they intend hugging the young ladies.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of experiences.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
no, I'm just sharing with you.
I
had that experience. I'm like,
it goes beyond what we always see in the movies and stuff like that. But sex, when it's done well, gives it gives you your mental soundness. Emotionally, you are well. Everything goes on. Your physique, everything is beautiful.
So you're at peace. You are not stressed. You're glowing.
You have nothing issue, no issue with the other.
Doc, we come to your side now. Pastor has given us this
well.
side. Now we come to the medical side.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is what it is. Sex in itself is gratifying.
I love the word. Gratifying. Pastor, did you hear that?
So
gratifying.
It brings in some feel-good hormones.
Exactly.
Now, these hormones are necessary for... The right word is to bring that glow. All right? So where there is meaningful sex, the person who goes, the people who go through it, is more restorative than otherwise. Okay? And so it helps them to improve upon their cardiac life. So good sex improves your cardiac health. Good sex also improves your mental status.
Okay.
Good sex also improves, it helps you to manage stress better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where there is good understanding between a couple, if both or any of them are stressed, good sex will take care of that.
Even in the midst of the stress, if
yes,
they can just pause.
Yes. It will give you some relief.
Okay.
And so I say that it's not wrong for God to place sex in marriage. It's within the confines of marriage, sex is pure.
Yeah.
It is only when it is out of the confines of marriage, because of its connectedness to other things apart from what we are talking about, then it becomes a bit problematic. Okay, because it has the potential for procreation, it has the potential for a combination, a linking of the two of you. So if you don't intend to link permanently and you engage, then it creates problem. Okay? He alluded to it when he said that there are people who never look alike. But after marriage, over a period, you tend to see that they begin to look alike.
Yeah.
These are part of the things, okay? Wow. So, good sex in its rightful place under ideal circumstances is curative.
Good sex at this place.
Yeah, exactly.
The right circumstances.
Yeah.
Curative.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. That's good. That's good. So with all of this, and people are in a relationship, they are married, one will ask, then why or what is going on that these people are no longer engaged in this gratifying, like Doc says, this good sex, even though they are married? What could be the reason? What are some of the reasons that we think or that we know, Doc? What are some of the reasons?
Do you want me to try to address the reasons before we look at the effects?
Yes.
You see,
Okay.
there are effects
Okay.
of sexlessness in a marriage.
Okay,
And
so
then we can look at the reasons why there can be sexlessness in a marriage. So
Okay.
which one do we address first?
Let's see the reasons why there is sexlessness. And then
Effect.
when we look at the effect now we can know, okay, this is, I don't know if
Okay,
that,
all right.
yes.
Maybe we can address it that way.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah.
So for reasons for sexlessness in marriage, they are myriad. There are lots of them. Some psychological, some physical.
Okay.
Okay. But because marriage is a blend of all these areas, I'll try to look at them, and as I look at them, I'll digress a bit into looking at how some of them are influenced by our hormones, and some just because we are what we are.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll look at them. There are a lot of them. Okay, there are a lot of them. First of all, I would want to pick on one which is not really easy to talk about, but it happens to be the most problematic in the issue: communication. You see, when two people who have been raised differently come together, if they fail to communicate what is going on within them, or they fail to communicate properly, so that the other person can appreciate what they are saying, because you see, in the whole act of sex, it is a two-way valve. You are doing something to another person and expecting a certain result. But as the person is expecting the result, the person should also be communicating to you, so that you can understand that what you are doing is achieving the purpose. Now, when this is not happening, or because of certain changes that you are going through, remember that maybe at the time you started, when you got married, the excitement, all that was there. The effort we put in courtship makes it easier. But when we get married, we think that it is on autopilot. It can roll. But no, it requires some effort still. And that is why I say that. So when it comes to communication, it is expected that the two people involved should be able to talk. What are my expectations? Am I meeting them? Are you helping me meet them? Are there any adjustments that must be made? Am I willing to listen, say that I can make these adjustments, so that in the end, that fulfillment I desire, or that fulfillment that you desire, we get it. Now, when that is lacking, it becomes a problem. Okay? So the man thinks he's doing the right thing. Yet the woman is asking herself, what is this guy doing? You understand?
Yeah.
The woman is desiring something. She's not communicating to the man to do what she wants. And the man is doing something else. And he thinks he's on top of the game. Now, so you see, in the end, both feel frustrated and unsatisfied.
Simply because they could not communicate with each other.
Exactly. Now, you also will realize that I said marriage is a journey where, unfortunately, you get your certificate before we even commence.
Imagine
You've
that.
passed before you start the journey.
You have not started, you have
Good.
a certificate already.
And so what happens here is that in life, things change. As I talk about the different reasons, you come to understand that things can't remain the same. But as things change, you are expected to communicate so that the necessary adjustments will be done so the purpose will be achieved. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen. I can tell you for a fact that there are women who cannot communicate their feelings and what they expect in sex to their husbands, and sometimes vice versa. Okay, this is because we kind of see talks about sex as a bit of a taboo in our palace here, but that needs to change. You don't need to shout. You don't need to be too, because you see, the issues about sex can be a bit boring. I'll give you an example. If a woman notices that a man's erection is becoming a problem as compared to previous, if she doesn't know how to communicate it well, she would end up worsening the man's problem. And this time it will not be only an erectile problem, it will become a self-esteem problem. That even out of the house, he feels less of a man. You get that? But if the same woman is able to communicate it well, there are different modes of communication. But you see, you need to just be assertive and empathetic. You aren't going to complain and ask whys. You are going to say what I would have expected and expect that he will work his way to help you achieve the expected. That's how it goes.
Yeah, so communication is a big thing.
Very, very big.
Yeah. I just want Pastor to come in before we continue. I know you talk with couples a lot, and do you encounter that as well?
Yeah, so aside communication that doctor made of, there are people who had gone through abusive relationship when they were young before. So growing up, they see sex to be abuse.
Because they link sex to pain.
To pain, one. And even
what is happening is their past negative emotions
exactly.
reappear each
And
time
each
they think and consider or engage in
sex.
So it is not about now.
No.
It's about their past coming into their
Exactly.
now. And so such people, if they can communicate,
Exactly.
then you can help them to adjust. You can appreciate their challenge and then know how to deal with them.
There are a lot of infidelity that will cause a sexless marriage. Those who are addicted to porn will cause sexless marriage because they get the satisfaction from watching that and from masturbating. So the husband who is coming or the wife who is coming may not be able to satisfy them. So they will shun. They wouldn't allow themselves to be available for it. Even if they communicate crash, they wouldn't listen because after all, I'm tired. I'm this. I had a stressful day. So at the end of the day, they always will give excuses, just not for that thing to happen. But no, there are issues that is attributing to the fact that they are doing something that is way beyond what you and I are going to do. So then no sex, and one is complaining. This is from Doc's definition. If nobody is complaining, then once a month we are okay. Once a month, 3 months we are okay. But when the wife complains of the attitude of the husband, or the husband complains of the attitude of the wife, then there's a problem. So some of these things caused wives or husband or couples to have sexless marriage because of the reflection of the abuse when they were young, because of the addiction they are currently ongoing. And about 5 years ago, I had a call from a married man, and he wanted to talk to me, but he didn't know how to communicate his problem. He didn't know how to communicate his problem, and I was there, and when he called, I just said, I've been helping others and even those who are masturbating. And he was quiet on the phone. That was what the spirit, he was quiet on the phone. Pastor, how did you know I was going to? I said, I don't know. I was just giving you an excuse. Then I asked him a further question that, what happened? He said, even if he's done with the wife, he goes and masturbate, watch porn and masturbate. So what he does with the wife, it is just a formality. But the reality of the issue is that he doesn't get satisfaction with a wife, but he gets it on watching porn and masturbating. So down there, it's a sexless marriage because the wives complain of lack of satisfaction in marriage. So there are a lot of factors that cause one couple to be there like that, like brothers and sisters, and we may think it is right, but no. They are not able to communicate their problems well. They are not able to tell whoever it is that, no, I need help, I need this, I need to do that. And they are keeping it among themselves, and they are dying. So these are some of the things I would add to what Doctor said, based on the fact that it also it causes sexless marriage, as we all say. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, back to my issue. See, we said they are married. Okay, we've talked about communication. Now there are health issues. Now health issues also come in because as we age in life, some chronic diseases, rear their ugly head. So the person is diabetic.
Okay.
And so because he's diabetic, if he doesn't get good control over the period, the man will be having issues with his erectile function. All right. If the person is hypertensive and for some reason his medications are not properly managed, his medications, the side effects will give him weak erection.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this man has a chronic heart condition, he's not as agile as he used to be.
There will be a lot of breathing.
How do you know?
Clavin Jacobs said. How do I know? I read these things. I research before I come on set.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
You get to understand that he won't have that agility like before.
Okay.
So if you can't or you don't understand that he can't be like yesterday because of his health situation, you would be unfairly expecting him to do what he used to do yesterday. And if you push him too hard, you kill him.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
Then you have issues like people who have other chronic conditions. Okay? So chronic ill health in itself makes one think less about sex. Okay, so a woman is struggling with a breast CA. It is not something she can wish it away. Her chemotherapy alone that she's going through is affecting her. Then her mind is not on sex. So that kind of woman, you will be unfair to expect her to be the previous woman when she didn't have that condition. Apart from that, economic stress in itself is a no-go area when it comes to a man's erection. I'll tell you a story. If you want to weaken a man's erection, just when he's about to get engaged, bring in a financial issue that would demand his money, he will go flat. I am being realistic.
Please don't do this at home, please. Don't do this at home.
So you just say, hey, you know about the money I told you about.
Exactly.
You know they do that in Nigerian movies.
It is a very potent way of killing his sexual urge.
Right,
All right?
Okay.
So naturally, when a man is going through financial stresses, maybe he's lost his job, or maybe he's having challenges at the job site, and where he can generate income to the house is becoming a problem. It surely affects his sexual function. And this is where, if knowledge is there, there's a way he should be able to communicate it, say that the woman in the family or in the marriage would understand, so that he will not measure him to his yesterday. If you do that, you are just not being fair. Okay? Apart from that, other stresses in life, like a sudden loss of a good friend, a sudden loss of a mother, these are things that naturally will not take your mind back to pleasurable things. Okay? And so it can affect. Then you can talk about depression. Now, generally, I have a rule that says that all people who have chronic diseases have depression. True. Because the condition is not leaving, they are treating, they are not perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they have some level of depression. And depression by definition just says that these are people who have no interest in anything happy about this world. So if sex should bring pleasure, they are not interested.
Exactly.
So depression in itself is a situation that makes people who are suffering such states think less of sex. Okay? Then the medications we use to treat mental ailments themselves have a negative effect on people's erectile functions, especially the males. And the females too, it dulls their libido. Okay? So when somebody has a mental challenge and is on these medications, please don't expect them to be like they used to be. Don't measure them with those. They may not be out entirely, but you cannot equate them and expect them to be functional like they used to be. Another thing that is very, very important for me, and I need to talk about it, is something that happens with the women and not men.
All right.
Call it menopause. Now, menopause, for what it is, people yesterday didn't think that you should talk about sexual challenges when you talk about menopause, because everything about menopause was about the organ and no. But we now understand that menopause creates certain situations that affects the brain. Now, let me make it right here that the most important sexual organ is not the penis or the vagina or the ovaries or the scrotum. No, it is the brain. The brain is the most important sexual organ. So, if there's a situation that could affect the brain, then you can understand how that person's sexual thing will be affected. So, for example, what we are saying is that when somebody is menopausal, his estrogen level is dropping, is dropped. It's unlike a male whose testosterone could dull, but it's a gradual drop. It doesn't drop entirely. It's a gradual drop, and it could take years. But for a female, within the late 40s and early 50s, it's a huge drop of estrogen.
Wow.
And that alone affects her moods. It affects the neurons in her brain. Such that the neurons that you use, you see, you need estrogen to energize the nerves. It is what gives the nerves the ability to make use of glucose. So when that is not happening, it dulls the senses. That is the same reason why they have issues with mood swings. They have issues with lack of control of their temperature, so they are sweating here and there. Once in a while, they talk about difficulty in sleeping because the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that is necessary for sleep, it's not functioning well because estrogen that is necessary to prime the nerves is not there. And it's not their fault. Okay? But there's a twist to this part.
All right.
Menopausal women have been seen, if on good medication or treatment, to be sexually free. The right word here is that, you see, when the drop happens, they will not be interested in sex and things like that. But the truth is, when they normalize, the inhibitions to sex previously are no more. This time she can have sex and won't get pregnant. So if pregnancy was an inhibition for her, she has no inhibition now.
No.
If she has proper lubrication and now nothing is hindering her, she will enjoy sex now. So it will now depend on how the couple are able to communicate amongst themselves to understand, to now do good lubrication. Because yes, when estrogen is down, they dry up easily, they need to be properly lubricated. And when that happens, they will enjoy sex. So you see how just the hormone factors are interplaying. Okay?
Yeah.
Apart from menopause, I need to bring up this issue too. Childbirth. Now, when a woman has a child, the process of procreation And now the happiness of having the baby, in a way, takes her attention. Naturally, we say that men should give them some excuse for about a month or two. But then, you ask yourself, that man is expected to control himself.
For 2 months.
Thereabouts.
Oh, 2 months is more. Then they have capped it 3 months.
And
Well, there are reasons for that. You see, the reasons for that is that because now we are saying that we need to give that woman an opportunity to raise that child well.
It's beautiful, yeah.
The attention she needs, okay, the concentration she needs. That is why we say so, okay. And at that time, her hormone fluctuations are different, okay. The lactating hormones are the ones up, okay.
yeah.
And so you won't get her to respond well to sexual urges like before, okay. Another thing I want us to talk about is that, you see, when somebody is having issues with sexual failures, do not always look at the act, go beyond the act, because occasionally you have done something and she's angry or he's angry, and you fail to deal with the issue.
then you bring sex.
Then you want to use sex to as a cover. No. Women don't do that. They like to address the issue. Then they are in a good frame of mind. I told you that the brain is the most
Your brain,
important
yes.
sex organ.
Yeah.
Then they are in a good frame of mind to express themselves properly. But if they have trust issues, they have infidelity issues, and you fail to address it, don't expect the best from them. Okay? A man may be able to run away from it, but a woman, no. Okay? So when we have issues about fidelity, trust issues, failure to address issues, you won't get the best from that woman. I will pause here. There are lots more.
It's so interesting.
Yes.
Because most of the times we just look at, why are they not intimate? What is that? We don't look at the underlying factors. But having Doc just telling us about this thing, it's so informative and it helps people out there to understand that. You just look at this. What about the underlying factors? What can be done about it? Over to you, Esther.
So Doc has said it. So let me just add the effect, if you permit us, so that we can get there. Because what Doc have said, I can adding more to be more putting more explanations to it. You see, with all these things Doc said, what may be the effect of a sexless marriage? Anger issues, right?
Is it on the men because I want us to deal with gender?
Both.
But
I'll talk men.
I'll talk men, yes. Yeah. And then
you see, when a wife is not fulfilled sexually, the slightest thing, she fed up.
flares up easily.
Yes. Especially when it's happening and the man thinks he has fulfilled all righteousness. But now that the woman's libido has even started, and the man says, it's okay, then there's war. Okay. Even the face that the woman will look to watch you. If your eyes are open to see her face, you may run.
They will heat the hellfire 50 times
the
more.
anger issue, the anger issue. Because when men comes, Doc probably when we come, we are done. But women, it takes time for them to meet that orgasm, that thing. So you don't expect that when you are done, you think they are satisfied. So when there's no sex, or even sexless where there's no communication, and you may think you have done your best, and your best is nothing to the woman, anger issues setting.
Okay.
Another issue of sexless marriage is loneliness.
That's for both men and women.
For men especially.
They feel lonely.
Women can live years without that thing. That's why when a man dies and when a woman dies, how many months would a man get married? I'm bringing it locally. I want my viewers here to when a wife dies, men will say because of the children, so we need to marry. It's our strength is still there. Because we don't have menopause that it will drop out or whatever. Ours is still on point. Okay. So even 80 years, man can fire. and give birth.
80 years.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
You don't know. and see, when a husband dies, woman can stay for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Why? Because that is how naturally you are given. So men, we feel loneliness. And a doc made mention of low self-esteem. When there's that and the wife she gives attitude and wouldn't allow it because you are 2-second man, it brings the man down to level 0. Low self-esteem setting, one of the serious effect, and the man will never be himself because of that. It is not easy to know that even divorce, as a result, in Ghana here, if no consummation, marriage can be voidable. Or they have it.
Okay, so you married
and there's nothing like that. Oh no, somebody can. So you haven't consummated the marriage yet. So
you can
it stands on that principle.
Oh, okay.
And if the wife or the husband goes to court with that, he may win the case to divorce the wife because there's no consummation. Nobody had done that. Okay. So it also can lead to divorce and shame and frustration for the man. When no show happens, the man, you don't even want to leave home.
So the man doesn't, I'm not a man, so I'm just trying to, the man doesn't feel fulfilled like as a man.
Yes, you should be the man.
Sexually satisfied.
Yes, and your wife is saying, is that all? Is that all?
I think the communication don't come.
Exactly.
Because if you say, is that all? You can just like, I'm not even man enough.
Exactly. So the shame and frustration.
Is that all? Yeah. It's not about the act.
No, it's the question.
The man interprets it differently.
Yeah.
He interprets it not as, is that all you can do? Is that all you are as a man?
As a whole being.
So you see the frustration,
that is the definition.
The frustration and the shame that you, the man, will go through that particular moment.
Frustration, loneliness,
it is
anger,
not a joke.
Low self-esteem.
Because he couldn't fire. Yeah. Is that all? Hey, you strong thinking giant man, and is that all you can do?
And ladies, we have a way of saying things to men other than what we're talking. We have you can see it's just subtle, but it's deep for the men.
Exactly.
So I think communication.
Doc, I've dealt with a man who wanted to end his life because in his prime time he enjoyed a wife, but when the day they got married, that day, that night, he couldn't erect. And he said, no. The woman says, I can't stay with you. I've been with you for 5 years. We had a child, and now we are making the marriage work better, like legally and everything. And right after that day in their church, they had a marriage. The evening that they went for this honeymoon, the thing didn't work. A man, 3-4 months, it didn't work. The woman said she's leaving. The man was crying. That he wants to end his life. I need to go with him through that stage to accept the situation. So, sexless marriage, it is not what we are. It goes beyond. It is people are watching and they will start thinking they need help. It's not a joke, Monique. It is not a joke.
It's serious.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
Because God has ordained it. Why should he be sexless? Why should he be free? Nobody would have it. It's something else.
Doc, as we just try to see how we can put this together because we can go on for the whole day. So what we want to do now, if we can talk, just add to what Pastor's saying, effect on women, effect on men, and then what do we do?
Exactly.
What's the effect? We talked about men, they have self-esteem issue, feeling shame, especially, I was looking at the research said, especially if they're not able to rise to the occasion, like you said. That's they feel like a failure. Right. They feel like, I'm not fulfilled. They feel like I'm disconnected. They have, because we said it rewards the pleasure pathway, so mentally they're also challenged. And as I was reading through, it said, they might start to see this wife as their roommate.
Yeah, sister in Christ, brother in Christ. Yeah.
I don't like the sister in Christ and brother in Christ because I don't know, maybe just for me, when I see people in church and say daddy, mommy, I'm like, okay, I don't marry my daddy. When I'm going to marry, I'm not married to my daddy. I know it's a nice way, but so, and I even, when I was preparing, it said some men feel so isolated. Yeah. So what we do, we have to just sum it up here. And then we come to part 2 and discuss this one. So we'll be able to not rush it because this is deep and I don't want us to rush it. So viewers, I know this is so deep and you're getting glued to listen. We're going to end it here, and then we'll have a part 2 where we address the causes. How does it affect a man? How does it affect a woman? And then we look at the solution. When do we seek professional help? Is there any help available? So I want to say this is season 2. It's hot. Scintillating. We're serving it hot. Stay tuned because we're going to give you the best. Keep viewing, keep subscribing for the best interactive and educative session. This is Sex in the Temple, and my name is Monica.
Every day with you is magic. Every kiss is better than the last. It's a home I've never known, a place I know will